What's going on, guys? Hopefully you're having a wonderful day today, and in today's video I'm going to talk about QCOM, how amazing of a trade it was, but most importantly how you guys can find similar stocks and replicate it for yourself. Before I do, go ahead and smash that like button and let's get right into it. Alright guys, so QCOM, I was keeping an eye on this one simply because it was creeping down to this support level of around 125.90. You see that? That's the 125.90. That's the daily level. Why is it the daily level? Because we have a sell-off into this 125.90 and then we bounce nicely. So this tells us there is some sort of support, buyers stepping up here to move the stock up. Now when old support breaks, we continue down to the next area of support. And in this case, the next area was at 121.96, which dates back from this day right here, which is around October 12th, 2021. All right, so if we lost 125.90, the next first support would be at 121.96. Now let's take a look at why this was interesting to me in the pre-market and why it was on my list at the market open. So in the pre-market, we had some consolidation taking place. You can see that there's a nice consolidation right here, right? Almost like all the other stocks. Despite the low volume, you can see that there's price action. They're holding it up here and above that 125.91. You can also see that this 121.91 level was respected once and price bounced from it again. All right, so confirmation again right there in the pre-market that it is actually bouncing and holding up. All right, so once the market opened, saw this sell-off, I kind of hesitated because I wasn't really sure what the market was going to do. I waited a little bit, and as soon as we got this third candle put in, this third 1 minute candle come in, and it broke under that 125.90. And one thing that I paid attention to was this increase in sell volume. I was like, all right, this is the time to start looking at this on the put side. I also flashed over to the flow. You can see lots of put activity coming in, and they're going after the 120s, some 115s. Either way, they're coming in. Lots of bearish flow coming in here. You can see they're smacking it again at around 950 and just really pouring in here with those puts. So because of that, I got into puts right here at around 932. I got into the puts at 260, and this thing really just sold off. All right. Now, a lot of the times people ask me, okay, I don't like trading the open. I don't feel comfortable trading the open. So what do I do? So that's great. If you missed the initial move and it sold off, you didn't want to get involved in the first 5, 10, 15 minutes. That's fine. You have to wait for a next setup to present itself. And what is the next setup that presented itself? And it was a beautiful, beautiful rising wedge into an area of resistance and then continuation down to the downside. And this thing really just sold off. All right. Again, for those of you that don't know, the rising wedge, after a move down, you have this flag, this rising wedge to the upside that hits an area of resistance right here, which is that 20 moving average. And most importantly, the volume kind of confirms that. We have aggressive selling. The pullback is on decreasing volume, and you have a resistance area. You get involved on the puts right here. Your stops is right at the top of this wedge or the moving average, and this thing never really looks back. This is going to be your first target right here. Then you saw a bounce there, and then it just continues to collapse to the downside. All right, so either way, the puts that we got involved in here from the 127 at 260 ended up paying off over 100% here. Significant move to the downside, and all we really did was look at the daily level, and just once that snapped and we saw the volume come in, we got involved. Again, if you missed that move, you look for the rising wedge. Now this rising wedge presented itself a lot of times. Roblox was another one that we saw the rising wedge in, right? We have this move right here. We have the rising wedge take place. And this was a trade that I also took. Why? Because it's a pattern that I follow really closely. I love these rising wedge patterns in a bear market. So we have this rising wedge, and as soon as we popped out of here, I got involved in these puts, and we took advantage of the move down. So another great one right there. Now, if you're looking at more rising wedges, it was across the board today. Almost everywhere you had rising wedges present themselves. This one, not as pretty, but it was still there. You can see we have a rising wedge again, and what confirmed this move for me was this hammer right here. This is an area of resistance that we have on Netflix. This area right here that you're taking a look at, this is an area on the daily that's actually a resistance area. We put in an inverse hammer right there, and that's when I got involved. My stops were right here at the top of this candle, and that really just continued to sell off as well. Okay, so pay attention to your patterns. If you're not familiar with the rising wedge, let's take a look. I've talked about the rising wedge pattern multiple times. Here it is, right? A move down, rising wedge, stop, entry, and then your first target is a low down. All right, guys, so hopefully you guys did find value in this. If you did, go ahead and smash that like button, comment down below, and share this video with somebody who you think will find value in it. As always, appreciate every single one of you guys, and we'll catch you in the next one.